Welcome back to CBS News 24/7. Breaking news at this hour. U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi says Kilmar Abrego Garcia is on his way back to the United States to face criminal charges. His return comes more than 2 months after the Trump administration mistakenly deported him to El Salvador. Now, Abrego Garcia faces 2 charges, including unlawful transportation of undocumented aliens. CBS News contributor Rebecca Roiphe joining us now with more. Rebecca, can you tell us the charges that he faces?
Yes, absolutely. So 2 charges, as you said, having to do with transporting undocumented individuals within the United States. That's a fairly serious federal crime. He's also facing a conspiracy charge of agreeing with somebody else or working with a group to do that exact same conduct. So those are both federal crimes. They're fairly serious crimes. The sentence he would face depends on a number of factors that are not clear yet.
Yeah, it's going to be a long legal battle, as we've been hearing, and all of these new charges. Can you talk about kind of the optics of all of this now that he's coming back?
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, this gives the United States a way out because they've been in this entrenched battle with the court, which was insisting, all the way up to the Supreme Court, insisting that the United States facilitate his return. And the government was digging in its heels, saying it did not want to bring him back and did not want to set him loose because it believed that he was a member of this dangerous gang. But of course, those allegations hadn't been proven. And so this, in a way, is a sort of backdoor, a way out in which they can bring him back. And so, in essence, sort of moot that legal case while still not releasing him. On another level, as you say, the optics are not great because it looks as if they are after this particular individual in a way. And our criminal law is designed to enforce or prosecute crimes, not actually go against a particular person. And so, in a way, it makes it look as if the government has targeted him because, of sort of immigration policy issues, which is, and wouldn't be inappropriate. And again, it's not clear that that's what happened, but there's a sort of, there is a way in which it looks that way, and that, is not quite appropriate.
Sure. Okay. And what is he facing if convicted, or it might be too soon to tell?
No, I mean, it's not that. Yeah, I think it is a little bit too soon to tell, in part because this statute is complex and the sentence that he faces depends on a number of factors, like the number of individuals who are being transported, whether anybody was hurt, where they were being transported. And so, these are facts that we are not quite sure of, but he would definitely face imprisonment if he was convicted of these crimes.
Sure. And as we were listening to Pam Bondi's news conference, and as she was giving more details than what we actually saw in the grand jury indictment written down, what stood out to you?
Well, one of the things that I think is going to be a big issue in this case is the cooperating witness and how much of the case hinges on that. Of course, there is that, that he was initially stopped, in a traffic stop a while back with a number of individuals in the car. So that's not something that relies on the cooperating witness. But in a case like this, there's always a question about the cooperating witness and that witness's motivation for testifying in a particular way. And so whenever federal prosecutors or any prosecutors are building a case, they want to make sure that they've corroborated a significant amount of what that individual says so that the jury will believe that person, even though that person, has a checkered past.
All right, Rebecca Roiphe, thank you so much for your expertise. Appreciate it.